Hello guys and welcome to my channel. This is Bridget of Bridging Healthcare. How have you been? Healthcare professionals, how is work? How are you finding the weather? It's winter where I am now and it's getting really cold, so please keep warm. Thank you for coming again and again to this channel. Always come in to like, comment, share, tell your friends and your friends. Anyway, let's not stop, let's continue. If you recall, in the last video I was talking about interviews and I was sharing my thoughts on how just to help individuals who are preparing for an interview, because interviews are no longer the regular, they're no longer given the way it is used to be. You just really need to know what you're doing so that you get the job, because a lot of intelligent people are in the field right now looking for a better opportunity. So today, if you remember last video, I talked about how to define person-centered care and how to explain why you're working in the health and social care space. So today I want to go on safeguarding aspects. Every interview will always have a safeguarding element. It can come in different forms, but they will request a safeguarding element to know your understanding on safeguarding and how you intend to help your service user. So first question might be, what would you do if your service user discloses to you that they have been abused? Now, they might not use the word abuse. They might say something like, well, your service user, you notice that your service user has a bruise, or your service user was beginning to act funny and they were scared whenever there's a knock on the door. So you just need to understand what safeguarding is to start with. I've done a video on safeguarding. Please check my previous videos. Now, if a service user has related to you that they have been abused, whatever form of abuse, physical, sexual, financially, in any regard, one thing must tell you, you must know in your mind that this information is not for your personal consumption. So you need to let your service user know, oh, I'm really sorry, pacify them, check that they are okay. If you need to ring the emergency service, let them know that you are going to document and you are going to report this to the safeguarding head of your company. You must document exactly what you were told. Don't say, maybe, some of us were very emotional. Somebody has mentioned something like, sexual abuse, and you are very emotional about it. And when you are documenting, you are fleshing it up. No, write exactly what was said. Document exactly what was said, but let them know that you are documenting and you are going to report it, because you are not here in your personal capacity and you have a duty of care to report it to the safeguarding lead. And if it is something that is an emergency, you have to explain that, well, I will. So if my service user has said this, first off, I will check that they are okay. I will check if there are any bruises, if it's physical abuse. I will ask them how they are feeling. I will document. If there is need to call the emergency service for them to be quickly checked over, I will do that immediately. If I need to call the police, I will do that immediately, because they are part of the safeguarding team. And then I will make sure that I document what was said, and I will follow up after. Now, following up might be, check in with your manager to say, oh, sorry, how is that service user? I hope they've been supported. Because if they are not being supported, then you can whistle blow above your manager. But it is important that you document everything as it was said. All right. So that is how to answer that question. Now, if the next question they ask is, how do you manage an individual who lives with some form of challenging behavior, or if there's some form of challenging behavior, what do you do? And you might ask them, can I give an example? And if they agree to an example, then an example always gives you higher score if the example is right. So it's always important to say, well, challenging behavior does occur with individuals who live with different medical condition, maybe mental health condition. And first, I know that they are not, exhibiting those behavior because it's not a personal situation. It is because of their condition. So I separate, them from that condition. This is to promote their dignity and respect. Then I will follow the care plan and the risk assessment that has been in place, because I have read it ahead. If my service user needs some space, I will ensure that I give some space, promoting dignity and respect, as well as keeping a close eye on them. So even if I leave some space, I don't leave them totally. I still keep watching them. I'm looking to ensure that they are safe and they are not injured. However, all this will be documented as an incident report, and I will give report of what was said. I will try to verbally de-escalate the situation depending on what has happened. If the challenging behavior is a verbal, the person is getting heightened, and according to their risk assessment and their care plan in place, it is to give them space. I will give them that space that is required. And if I see that I'm not able to manage it on my own, I will call my superior or my senior on shift or my colleague, and so that this can be sorted. And if there is further safety breach and the person probably is a danger to themselves, then I will ring the appropriate safeguarding team in place according to the care plan. Now, everything you are saying when you're answering this question, always remember, according to the care plan. Always let it know that it is what is being stated down. It shows that you know what you're doing. It shows that you're intelligent. It shows that you are person-centered and you are carrying your superiors and whoever you report to along. Guys, I cannot overestimate the importance of studying and upskilling. Before you go for an interview, know the company, study and upskill. Get better at what you do. Don't remain where you are. All right. And I hope that this has been able to help. Thank you so much for coming again and again. See you in the next one. And please like, subscribe, and share. Bye.